UFC 296 is only 2 days away now and is the last event of the year. I couldn't think of a more perfect card to start off my channel with. The reason I'm late making a video is because I was waiting for the odds to get posted for all the props so I can come up with some parlays for the boys. Stick around till the end for those. The entire card is stacked top to bottom and I have all my picks and analysis, so let's get into the breakdown. The first fight of the card was supposed to be Randy Brown versus Muslim Salikhov, but due to illness, Brown had to pull out of the fight. For that reason, I won't go into depth with this fight, but here's a quick glance of my notes anyways. Moving up the card and being the first fight of the night, we have Martin Buday versus Shamil Gaziev. Both of these fighters come from Dana White's Contender Series, and this fight will be Shamil Gaziev's debut UFC fight. I did not have much time to watch their past fights, but from what I've gathered, Shamil Gaziev trains with Cyril Gane. He is currently undefeated and on an 11-fight win streak, with 10 of those fights being a finish. I think Gaziev will be the more active fighter in this matchup and will do whatever necessary to get the win. If I were to add Gaziev to one of my parlays, I would go for a moneyline bet, but if you want to add a prop, I say do Gaziev by KO at plus 240. Moving up the card, we have another two fighters that I have not watched before. Andre Fili versus Lucas Almeida. Doing some research, I learned that Fili has more of a grappling style and Almeida likes to keep it standing. If Fili doesn't stick to his usual game plan and decides to stand and bang with Almeida, I can definitely see a knockout here. All of Almeida's 14 wins come from finish, 9 of which are knockouts. He has only been finished one time and that was by submission. Taking the safe route and going to take Almeida money line at plus 142. The last fight on the early prelims is one of the fights that I will most likely not place a bet on. Tagir Ulanbekov versus Cody Durden. Tagir only brings grappling to the table. If you don't try to submit Cody within the first half of the fight, I feel like Cody could find a possible finish. Cody has been submitted 3 times, so I am worried about his grappling game, but watching Tagir's most recent fights, he did not impress me much. Cody, on the other hand, most likely improved his ground game and will most likely get the win by decision. Taking the safe route once again, and I'm picking a moneyline bet on Cody Durden at plus 150. Another fight where I haven't seen much of either one. Casey has never been finished and is 5 out of 9 wins by finish. Her last loss was a decision against Jennifer Maia, and Ariane's fights usually go the distance. I think this fight goes the distance and the judges will favor Casey over popularity since she is a rising star. I am taking this fight to go the distance at minus 190. Continuing up the card, we have Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Kelleher. Cody Garbrandt is a heavy pressure fighter and has 10 out of 13 wins by knockout. Although Cody has a questionable chin, he has good wrestling and fantastic reading. Brian's stand-up game did not impress me, but he has excellent grappling. Though he has only been knocked out one time, Brian can get caught too. If he doesn't try to finish Cody by submission, I think Cody either outstrikes him and gets the decision win or he pressures enough to get the knockout. I'm going with Cody Garbrandt to win by KO or decision at minus 170. Continuing up the card, we have Irene Aldana versus Karol Rosa. Out of 14 wins, Aldana has 11 finishes, 8 of those being knockout. She also went the full 5 rounds with Amanda Nunes and Holly Holmes and has only been finished twice by knockout. Karol Rosa has been submitted twice, but if Aldana gets a finish, I think she will get a knockout. Aldana is the more balanced fighter and will find the win. I'll take Irene Aldana money line at minus 180. The last fight on the undercard is one of my most anticipated fights of the night. Alonzo Menifield versus Dustin J. I think Alonzo is going to beat the brakes off Dustin. 10 out of 14 wins are by knockout, which 8 of them are in the very first round. Alonzo is more of a damage fighter and Dustin throws more volume. If this fight goes past halfway, I might be somewhat concerned about Alonzo's gas tank as he gets tired relatively fast. Dustin does not seem confident on the feet as Alonzo. For that reason, I am picking Alonzo Menifield by KO at plus 500. Bryce Mitchell is stepping up on 10 days short notice to start off the main card. He has 16 wins, with 9 of them being by submission. Even though Bryce Mitchell has never been knocked out, he has never got a knockout either. The only way I see Mitchell finishing this fight is by submission. Although I could see this fight going the distance, I am going to pick Bryce Mitchell to win by submission at plus 350. The fans' main event, Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. I think all UFC fans want Tony Ferguson to win, but I'm having a tough time picking against Paddy Pimblett just because Ferguson has not been the same since he got knocked out. Paddy has only been finished one time, and that was by submission. Tony doesn't have good grappling to submit Paddy, and the only way I see him winning is by decision. Out of 20 wins, Paddy has 15 finishes. I can see him winning by submission, so I'll take Paddy Pimblett to win by submission or decision at -150. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Ever since I have seen the fight announcement, I have been excited for this fight. A lot of people are counting Wonderboy out just because Shavkat is undefeated, but I actually think Wonderboy has a chance in this fight. If Wonderboy can make Shavkat fight his fight and keep the fight standing and find his distance, I am confident Wonderboy can make it to the judges' scorecards. No matter how I think this fight plays out, I'm going to place a small bet on Wonderboy money line because of the odds. If Shavkat wins, I see him winning by submission, but then again he is facing his strongest opponent yet and will most likely be more technical, so I'm taking Shavkat to win and over 1.5 rounds at -125. Moving up the card, we have our first championship fight of the night, Alexandra Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. This will be their second time fighting, where in the first fight, Pantoja won by second round submission. There was a clear as day difference in the skill gap when it came to the grappling, although he has never been finished. My only concern for Pantoja is his head movement. Royval is a pressure-heavy fighter, but if he wants to win this fight, he needs to be technical. The only way I see Royval winning this fight is by decision. Out of Pantoja 26 wins, 18 of them are by finish, so I could see Pantoja winning this fight in all possible ways. That being said, I'm taking Pantoja by money line at -198. Going on to the main event, Leon Edwards versus Colby Convington. Colby's key to victory is his cardio. The only way I see Colby winning this fight is by decision. Edwards, on the other hand, I can see him winning any possible way. He has excellent stand-up striking and underrated grappling. I think he will be able to manage distance in this fight, and he might get taken down a few times, but I think he will be able to prevent Colby's takedowns throughout the fight. Edwards is patient and has the best reading that I've recently seen from a fighter. Although a majority of Edwards' fights go to decision, he has proven that he has the power. I just think Colby will constantly pressure and prevent Edwards from keeping distance. When on his back, on the ground, or against the cage, Edwards has shown how good his grappling defense can be. However, during the press conference, Colby brought up Edwards' deceased father.
You're so fucking stupid. On Saturday night, I'm gonna bring you to a place you never want to be. I'm gonna bring you to 7th layer hell.
Okay.
No, I'm bringing you to 7th layer hell. We'll say what's up to your dad while we're there.
Oh!
This is another opportunity for you to defend your title, but a very emotionally charged one. Give us your thoughts on what this has been like dealing with Colby and what goes down tomorrow night.
That man is as good as dead tomorrow. Make sure he keeps everything he said about my dad. Just tomorrow, we settle it.
The champion, ladies and gentlemen, Leon Edwards.
Colby is already in his head before the fight, and it concerns me that it can alter Edwards' performance. Will it make him want to knock Colby out even more? And will it cause him to win or lose? We will find out. I can definitely see Colby getting caught with a nasty head kick, but I can see this fight going the distance as well. That being said, I'm confidently picking Leon Edwards to win in over 2.5 rounds at -115. Here's my pay-per-view parlay payer. I actually think this has a solid chance of hitting. Let's end this year with a big payout. Good luck to everyone.